In the 1970s, two young women conducted an experiment with nursing home residents. They encouraged one group of them to find ways to make more decisions for themselves. They were allowed to choose where to receive visitors or if and when to watch the movies that were shown at that home. Each also got the houseplant to fully care for. A second control group were only given houseplants but told that the nursing staff would care for them. A year and a half later, the two women found remarkable results. More cheerful, active, alert, and overall lively and healthy elderly in the first group. Maybe unsurprisingly, less than half as many of the more engaged group had died than those in the control group. Years later, on a crisp September day in 1982, a group of 8 men in their 70s and 80s were about to take part in a short retreat where they were asked to pretend that they were young again, or at least 22 years younger than they were at that time. The retreat was organized by a team of researchers headed by Harvard psychologist Alan Langer, PhD. The elderly men found themselves surrounded by all sorts of environmental cues typical of the year 1959.
Tonight, we're gonna party like it's 1959.
Newspapers, movies, and television shows, music, and even politics, all from 1959. The researchers took several measures and compared them to those they had taken before the retreat. The bodies of the men were physiologically younger, structurally as well as functionally. Improvements in height, weight, and gait. The men grew taller as their posture straightened and their joints became more flexible and their fingers lengthened as their arthritis diminished. Their eyesight and hearing got better. Their grip strength improved. Their memory sharpened and they scored better on tests of mental cognition. The men literally became younger right in front of the researchers' eyes. Before taking the before and after measurements that indicate age, the researchers called several of the leading geriatricians around the country at the time and asked, if we had the 70-year-old in one room and a 50-year-old in another and could take any measure of those people, which criteria would you trust to know who is who with confidence? The answer was that only chronological age would confidently reveal the difference. That means that an unhealthy 55-year-old and a healthy 70-year-old would probably be hard to distinguish even for specialists if they weren't told the birthdays of those two. It is well known that people who are ill often somehow hold on until important events take place and then give up afterwards. Similarly, when people retire or one member of an elderly couple dies, the retired person or the surviving spouse are more likely to die soon afterward. Let's take a look at the so-called blue zones, regions of the world where people typically live much longer than the average person. Here is a list of 9 things that the lifestyle of people who reside in those blue zones have together. Moderate, regular physical activity, life purpose, stress reduction, moderate caloric intake, plant-based diet, moderate alcohol intake, especially wine, engagement in spirituality or religion, engagement in family life, engagement in social life. What would you say is the most important part of the list? Let's rephrase a couple of the items. Number 7 to 9 could also be defined as social, familial, and spiritual purpose. Having great friends and seeing them often. Being socially active and integrated into a community. Having a family and most probably grandchildren to take care of. Let's take another 4 items off the list. A plant-based diet will often lead to a moderate caloric intake, and a moderate caloric intake leads to a light and often agile body, which leads to more regular physical activity and pain-free movement. Now you can run with your grandchildren, walk to the meeting with your friends or to church. After that you can go out and have a drink or 2 of red wine and reduce your stress by relaxing to music. So, what have all those points in common? An underlying purpose, a reason to be alive. A life worthwhile living is a life that won't be taken without a fight from you. The man in the reverse aging experiment not only lived like they are 20 years younger, but they regained purpose in their life. They again woke up early to tackle the day. They again played football. They again could argue with each other about politics, and they were listened to. They once again could make a change to this world and were important. That's why people die so quickly after retirement. That's why people die after losing their significant other. There is nothing holding them here anymore. You rarely see a truly happy person that is overweight, drinking a lot, smoking a lot, playing games all day long and the like. Are you smoking because you enjoy it, or because you wouldn't really mind dying a couple years earlier? That's a tough question to answer. In the words of the great Charles Bukowski, we're here to drink beer, we're here to kill war, we're here to laugh at the odds and live our lives so well that death will tremble to take us. Thank you for listening. Peace.
And at the best of